Welcome, everyone, to the Mitchell's Modesto Harley-Davidson Deep Dive. We're really glad you could join us today. And hey, if you enjoy what we do here, please take a second to subscribe, maybe give us a like, and share this deep dive with your fellow riders. All right, let's dive right in. We're going back to a moment that, honestly, sent some serious shockwaves through the motorcycle community. Just picture it, August 22nd, 2017. You've got Harley-Davidson dealerships from, well, pretty much everywhere, all gathered at the Nokia Theater in LA. The energy, absolutely electric. Everyone's waiting for the 2018 model reveal. Big deal, right? Harley's the 150th anniversary is coming up. There are whispers, rumors flying about a huge shakeup in mid-size cruisers. People are expecting displacement bumps. Maybe the Milwaukee-Eight's finally hitting that sweet spot. It really felt like showing up to a party, expecting the whole 9 yards, cake, fireworks, the works. But amidst all that excitement, something else happened. Something nobody really saw coming. What was that huge shift that just, stunned everyone, especially those Dyna diehards?
Yeah, you can almost feel the air go out of the room or maybe hear the collective groan in that theater. Because that night, truly, nobody expected Harley to essentially, bury the Dyna lineup. Just like that, he was, like you said, a seismic shift. And it really hit hard for this massive and honestly exploding subculture that had grown around the Dyna. So that's what we're digging into today, the whole story. The Dyna's kind of surprising climb to icon status, that really abrupt decision to pull the plug, the huge backlash from the community, and where it sits now, its legacy. We'll unpack why Harley did it and what it all means.
Okay, let's set the stage then. To really get why this was such a shock, we need to go back. For ages, Harley had two main players in that mid-size space, Softail and Dyna.
Yeah.
What were they originally? What made them different?
Right, they were kind of the dynamic duo for decades, weren't they? The Softail, that came first back in '84. The whole idea was to get that classic hardtail look, the super clean rear end, old school chopper style. But the genius part was the hidden rear suspension. So you got the look, but also a smoother ride than a true hardtail. It really appealed to let's call them barber style purists, people who loved that slammed, clean aesthetic. Then 91 rolls around and we get the Dyna. It kind of rose from the ashes of the FXR, another bike people love, but different. The Dyna was built for riders who wanted more. Raw performance, a more connected feel. It had rubber-mounted engines, which was key for taming vibration, and a frame that honestly handled really well, especially on twisty roads. Exposed shocks were part of the look too, so it clicked with a more aggressive crowd. Guys into the club style mods, the T-bars, the quarter fairings, and really valued that cornering agility.
Right, so you had Softail for the look, Dyna for the feel and the handling. Pretty distinct camps initially, but like you said, over time, things blurred. They both became these mid-size kings, and you started seeing a lot of overlap in how people modded them.
Exactly. And underneath, the actual tech, the chassis design for both, it was starting to feel a bit dated by, say, the mid-2010s, like trying to run modern software on old hardware.
Which makes the Dyna's trajectory even more interesting. It wasn't just a solid bike, it became this huge cultural force. How did that happen before 2017?
Oh, absolutely. That whole Dyna glow-up, it really kicked into gear around 2010, maybe a bit earlier. And the amazing part, it wasn't driven by Harley ads or some corporate strategy. It was pure grassroots cool, totally organic. A big piece of it, kind of unexpectedly, came from freestyle motocross guys. Stars from the 90s, early 2000s. Think Travis Pastrana, Brian Deegan types. They started grabbing Dynas and modifying them like crazy, turning them into these high-performance street machines for stunting, wheelies, just tearing it up.
Ah, right. I remember seeing that shift. Suddenly, Dynas weren't just cruisers. They were stunt bikes almost.
Exactly. It brought this whole different energy. Then Hollywood threw fuel on the fire. Sons of Anarchy, obviously. Jax Teller's Dyna Superglide. That bike basically became the poster child for outlaw cool, cemented the image.
Yeah, that show had a massive impact.
Huge. And then social media just blew it up. Instagram especially, the whole hashtag Dyna Club thing took off. Your feed would just be full of these blacked out lowriders, tall T-bars, quarter fairings, mid-controls, all set up for aggressive riding. And that fueled a massive aftermarket boom. Companies started pumping out everything. Retro FXR T-style fairings, T-sport bags, moto bars and risers, step-up seats, those 2-into-1 performance pipes.
Wow. So it was this convergence, action sports, pop culture, social media, and the industry responding. And from Harley's perspective, this must have looked like gold, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Dyna scene was bringing in younger riders exactly what they needed as the booner generation started aging out.
Precisely. It was their organic solution happening right under their noses. It was attracting a whole new demographic, bringing this vibrant, younger energy. And Harley did acknowledge it eventually. Some argue maybe a bit late, but they did.
With the Lowrider S, right, in 2016.
That's the one. The 2016 Lowrider S. Many called it the ultimate Dyna. right out of the box. Blacked out everything, the big Screamin' Eagle 110 engine, proper inverted front forks for handling, mid-controls. It had all the key elements. It won Cruiser of the Year awards from major magazines like Cycle World, I think. And man, they flew off showroom floors. You couldn't keep them in stock. Dyna fever was definitely peaking.
It seems absolutely wild then. Peak popularity, a hit model like the Lowrider S selling like crazy, and then they pull the plug. Take us back to that night in August 2017. What exactly did Harley announce, and what was the immediate fallout?
Well, that night, Harley unveiled what they called a single, unified, big twin cruiser lineup. They basically took Softail aesthetics and Dyna performance, or what they saw as the best of both, and mashed them into this new platform. And they called the whole new lineup Softail. Mostly because it used that hidden rear suspension design, giving it the cleaner Softail look.
Okay.
But in doing that, by dropping the Dyna name entirely, boy, did they misjudge the reaction. They effectively tossed out decades of brand loyalty, this massive cultural identity built around the name, Dyna Bros, the hashtag DynaLife hashtags, the tattoos, the patches.
Wow, so they just erased the name, even though the spirit was maybe meant to continue in some of the new bikes.
Pretty much. And the Dyna Nation, as they called themselves, they felt completely unplugged. Social media just exploded.
Like a burnout contest gone wrong, you said earlier. What did that look like? What was the raw reaction?
Oh, it was an epic backlash, truly. You had writers just venting everywhere online, memes flying left and right, there were actual petitions started, threats of boycotts, endless debates raging on forums. People were furious. They felt Harley had axed a legend, a symbol of freedom, rebellion, and wheelies. The sentiment was overwhelmingly anger and disbelief. Is the Dyna dead? Everyone is asking.
It's easy to see the passion there, but let's shift gears. From Harley's point of view, this had to be a strategic move, right? Not just random. Why make such a controversial decision, especially when the Dyna seems so hot?
Absolutely. There was definitely a strategy behind it. The core issue, as we touched on, was the aging tech in both the Dyna and the old Softail chassis. Instead of the massive investment needed to update both platforms separately, Harley went all in. They poured years of R&D into creating one single, superior mid-size chassis. And this new Softail frame, it wasn't just a tweak. It was developed with tons of rider input, even racers. The specs don't lie. On average, the new bikes were 30-35 pounds lighter. They packed the Milwaukee-Eight, offering way more power, up to 114 cubic inches initially, ran cooler too. And crucially, the frame itself was about 90% stiffer. That meant massively improved handling, way more lean angle before you started scraping things. Some models got dual front brakes too.
So objectively, a better performing motorcycle.
Objectively, yes. Better in pretty much every measurable way. Even for wheelies, thanks to the lighter weight and stiffer chassis. Now granted, the looks, they were polarizing at first. Those new LED headlights, the more modern lines. Some people flat out called them ugly stock. It took time for eyes to adjust.
Okay, so better performance, but polarizing looks. From a purely business angle, though, why was merging them the smart play, despite that guaranteed backlash?
Well, it really came down to efficiency and future-proofing. It was smart business to ditch the overlap. Developing and tooling up for two separate, modern chassis, hugely expensive, running two lines side by side, one old tech, one new. Also costly and confusing. Remember, they'd done that before, like when the Dyna first came out alongside the FXR was replacing it, created complexity. This time, they just ripped the Band-Aid off fast, consolidate onto the better platform, focus resources, avoid dragging out the pain and cost of supporting two aging lines or a messy transition. It was decisive.
Okay, that makes sense from a long-term business perspective. So fast forward to today, 2025, 7 years on. What's the legacy? Has the Dyna Nation moved on?
Well, immediately after the announcement, the used Dyna market just went completely bananas. Prices shot through the roof. You saw clean lowrider S models going for well over $20 A's. Nice wide glides pushing past $15 easily. And you literally have had guys becoming Dyna hoarders, buying up multiple bikes because they thought they'd never see another new one.
Wow. Fear of missing out big time.
Totally. But now, in 2025, things have settled. Most riders who might have bought a Dyna back then, they've largely embraced the new Softails. Because the spirit of the Dyna, that performance cruiser vibe, it's definitely alive and well in the current lineup. Look at the latest Lowrider S. It rocks the Milwaukee-Eight 117 high output now. Better suspension, optimized exhaust. It's a beast. Then you have the Lowrider ST for the touring focus crowd. The Street Bob is still a great entry point. And the Fat Bob holds down that aggressive end. They perform incredibly well.
So the function evolved, even if the form changed slightly and the name vanished.
Exactly. And despite all the clickbait YouTube videos you see, Dyna returning with AI mock-ups.
Oh.
Nope. No official revival has happened. Those are just wishful thinking for now.
It's fascinating, though, how the influence lingers so strongly without the nameplate. Does this fit a pattern for Harley? They've made big changes before, right?
Oh, yeah. Time definitely heals these things. And Harley's seen this movie before. This ain't their first rodeo with change kicking up dust. Think back when the FXR came out in '82, people called it too Japanese, looking with its frame and handling focus. Purists grumbled. Then, when Dyna replaced the FXR, guess what? The FXR loyalists complained that Dyna wasn't as good.
History repeats.
It really does. Change ruffles feathers in the Harley world. Riders get salty, forums light up, but eventually, the road calls. People adapt, especially when the new bikes genuinely perform better.
So, the name Dyna itself, what power does it hold today? Could it ever come back?
It's interesting, you still hear riders walk into dealerships today asking for a Dyna, but what they mean is a performance mid-size cruiser, like the Lowrider S or the Street Bob. The name has almost become like slang for that style of bike, like glide means a tourer. It's shorthand for badassery.
So the brand equity is still there, even dormant.
Absolutely. And Harley would be, frankly, kind of silly to just let that brand gold sit gathering dust forever. Could they bring it back? Maybe not the exact old frame, but perhaps a new chassis that incorporates outboard shocks for that classic Dyna look. Or maybe a limited edition run, something blending those old school vibes with the modern Milwaukee-Eight power. The demand, that hunger from the Dyna Nation, it's still out there. You still see incredible custom Dynas being built.
What a journey. We've gone from its rise, that shocking cancellation, and now its enduring influence. It really is more than just a motorcycle story.
It really is. It's about culture, identity, how a community's passion can elevate a machine beyond its parts and specs. And it's about how a company, even an icon like Harley, has to constantly balance that heritage with the need to innovate and move forward, sometimes making tough calls.
So a final thought for you listening. What makes something a true legend in motorcycling? And when it comes to things you're passionate about, how do you personally weigh tradition versus innovation? Hopefully this deep dive gives you some interesting things to think about. Until next time, keep digging into what sparks your interest.